Alright everybody, what's up? This Army 2 Willis just wanted to give you guys to show you that ray tracing is finally here. DirectX 12 enabled. You need it because without it, you can't enable DXR. I got it on higher dynamic range, everything's on ultra, and right now I have DXR ray tracing on high. If I put it on ultra, the frame rate takes a significant drop. We're going to show that here. Right now we're only seeing between 40 and 60 FPS. In multiplayer, that drop is even more significant. It's all the way down to the teens and 20s. But just by going back in here, as you see I'm doing now, and switching that advanced option for DirectX ray tracing to high, we see between 60 and 80 FPS with lows at 50. And that's a huge difference using the 2080 by gigabyte. Huge difference.
Les tirailleurs n'étaient pas toujours bien équipés. Fallait fouiller, ramasser, improviser. Je me disais d'aimer. Faut trouver quelque chose. Trouve un moyen pour que ça marche.
I'm sure if I were to take it down to medium for the ray tracing reflection, the frame rate would be even higher, but it'd be no different than just pretty much having it off at that point. There's definitely some noticeable gains with the ray tracing, but in terms of visual quality, but nothing in terms of performance. I can see how ray tracing would be useful in a game like this, and or even considered cheating, being that older cards do not have that, and that's what I'm going to sit here and tell you guys about now. For an example, in multiplayer, when playing on the map with the river and all the buildings that have windows, if a player is hidden on the other side of a car and you have ray tracing, you can actually see his reflection through windows being on the other side of the car. Whereas the player who does not have ray tracing, he sees reflections, but he cannot see player reflections in real time. That will be seen as an advantage, a serious advantage. Albeit it's a hardware advantage, but it's an advantage nonetheless.
Détruire les canons sauvera des vies. De vraies vies. C'est concret. C'est réel. On sait qu'on a fait quelque chose de bien. Alors on se raccroche à cette idée et on rejoint la boucherie.
I think they should have had the same health requirement in this part of the game that they had for ray tracing. But speaking of ray tracing, as I was saying before I got zoned out for a second there, there's definitely huge advantages to having ray tracing versus those that do not have it in visual fidelity and in that sense how well you perform in the game. You're a sniper and you're posted up in an area that's got a lot of reflections that you can easily see around corners or around vehicles per se. That gives you a serious advantage against your competition who does not have this technology. As I was saying, that it just gives you a serious advantage versus those who do not have that technology. Because obviously, ray tracing is only going to be for those cards that have it, and DirectX 12 is obviously only for those cards that can handle it as well. You can have DirectX 12 for a 10 series card, but unless you have a 20 series card, you're not going to get to take advantage of these two things the way they were meant to be taken advantage of. And I do like, and I want to say this, I do like that Battlefield took the time to give you different quality settings for ray tracing. So it's not balls to the walls or no, there's different quality settings. You can have low ray tracing, you can have high ray tracing, you can have whatever you want. And the benefits to these things are going to depend solely on the person playing, if you get what I mean. So you might say, hey, my frame rates mean more to me than the reflections, and you might have it on low. You might say, hey, my frame rates mean everything, and you might have it completely off. Or you might be the person to say, I see what you mean about those advantages given, and I don't want to go without those advantages in the game. But at the same time, I don't want to kill my performance on the game that I'm playing as well. So you might choose to have medium or low, or even be a person to say, hey, those advantages are worth it. Better cards are coming in the future, and I'll upgrade to the better one whenever it's out there, and sell off my older one, or put my older one in a more portable system or something. It all depends solely, and I believe this wholeheartedly, on the person. The person making use of this hardware and the person making use of it and what you feel in the game. Just like with buying a graphics card. You might buy a 2080 and be like, hey, I only play at 1080p, so those losses aren't as heavily affected for somebody playing at 1440p or 4K, because the losses will be greater. You're playing at a higher fidelity, so it's more expensive. It's using up more RAM. As I said, the big question for ray tracing, and I think it always comes down to this, is it worth it? And a question like that is person dependent. It doesn't matter how I look at it, it doesn't matter what I personally think. My thoughts are not going to be the same as your thoughts. How I feel about it is not going to be the same as how you guys feel about it. And I think that's what it comes down to. I'm going to take a chance to just stop right here for a second with the gameplay, just so I can kind of talk to you guys and tell you guys my feelings on it. If you want every etching advantage you can get, regardless of what the frame rate looks like, then you're probably going to run some settings. You're going to have to do some settings tweaking so you can get the best performance while getting the best out of ray tracing, which I think is ray tracing high or medium, leaning more towards high. So you can get the best frame rate, the best out of ray tracing, and have the best advantage against your competitors who do not have that technology. For people who just don't care, uh, they bought the 2080 strictly for its power and performance. They're not going to care about that. I believe the 2080 is going to do a better job of handling ray tracing, but I can see maybe 10 to 15 frames better than where the 2080, the 2080 Ti will be 10 to 15 frames better than the 2080, and the 2080 being 15 to 20 frames better than the 2070 in terms of how well they use ray tracing versus not using ray tracing. But in all honesty, I think it's what everybody was saying in the industry. It's an early adaptation of this, and next year you will see cars that do this much better, probably twice as good as what the ones are doing now because they would have that refinement and they were be on a newer node that's half the size, so better performance. Anyway, this was Army 2 Willis giving you guys an update on what's good with ray tracing, and I'm out.